Dear racing fans, we've been waiting for you. We've been working, prepping, training, putting together thrilling races, high stakes, favorite traditions, and fresh experiences. From right on the rail to the top of the hill. Whether it's your first meet or your 50th, we can't wait to welcome you back this fall. Love, Keeneland.
And a pleasant good evening, everyone. Welcome into the Keeneland Look Ahead podcast. Jeremy Plonk here from Horse Player Now. Great to be with you for our 16th of 17 previews. We've got one more to go tomorrow night for the Saturday finale, but still 10 races to go on Friday, 10 on Saturday, and we'll finish up strong here during this 2025 fall meet. We'll talk about some news and notes out of today at Keeland. Look ahead to tomorrow's 10-race card. 10-race program, of course, beginning at 1 o'clock Eastern, as does each card here at Keeneland. We've got a dual stakes co-features on the Friday program. The Myrtlewood Stakes for the 2-year-old filly sprinters, and then we will get the 3-year-old fillies on the turf going a mile in the Valley View Stakes. Looking forward to that. Tight trainers race. Jockey's race is kind of getting to be a little bit of a runaway right now. 7 on top for Irad Ortiz after a 3-win day today. He is 7 up with 2 days left. He's almost got the X for the clinch division, if you will, in the standings in the newspaper right now. Irad Ortiz, 22 wins on the meet after a 3-win day today. He's got 7 more than Luis Saez, who's got 15. As for Tyler Gaffleone, he had 2 wins today. He's up to 14 for the meet in 3rd place. But as the Jockey's race goes, it looks like it's all about Irad Ortiz. Things are getting tighter at the top of the trainer standing. Steve Asmussen won 1 today. Brendan Walsh won 1 today. That got both of those trainers to 10 for the meet. Brad Cox won 2. And he's now at 9 and knocking on the door. And you can kind of hear the footsteps on the door with Brad Cox, because take a look at the entry box for the Friday card. Brad Cox has horses in 7 of the 10 races. Brendan Walsh has 4. Steve Asmussen has 3. So advantage Cox on Friday in terms of Saturday. That lines up. Brad Cox has 4 races with horses in them. Brendan Walsh has 5. Steve Asmussen, again, just 3. So Steve Asmussen's 6 horses left to run, or 6 races to run. Not sure the total number of entrants in those 6 races. He may have a couple in a particular 2-year-old race or 2. But he's in 6 races. Walsh is in 9. Cox is in 11. So even though Cox is 1 behind at this point, the numbers say that Brad Cox could make the run here and get to the top of the leaderboard. We'll see how it turns out here over the last few days of the meet. Conditions for the racing on Friday expected to be great. Temps in the mid to upper 50s, fast and firm, just like it was today. And that forecast looks like it will hold for Saturday as well. No rain in sight in Lexington in the extended forecast till early next week. So we're good for the rest of the meet. We should be fast and firm the rest of the way to go. Today at Keeneland, before the races in the morning, a couple Breeders' Cup workers, if you didn't see that. She's So Spicy, a Florida-based horse who's been training at Keeneland over the last several weeks to get ready for the turf sprint. She's So Spicy worked 3 furlongs and 37 flat today. And Jin, upset winner of the Spinster Stakes, headed to the Breeders' Cup Distaff next. She'll get a rematch with Nitrogen in that one. The winner of the Spinster went 49-2 for a half mile today. Jin for trainer Brendan Walsh. Those are your Breeders' Cup workers here on Friday. Now, we've had chaos throughout the last 2 weeks or so of racing. Big prices seem to be popping all over the place. That gave us 2 carryovers going into the Thursday card. Not the case on Thursday. Form really held. Here are the winning payoffs. $3, 7, 6, 7, 6, 12, 4, 3, and 9. One winner above 7-2. That was a 5-1 shot. Biggest price on the card. They bet over $500,000 into the carryover pick 6 today, and the pick 6 returned for $1, $1,867. A lot of people hit it. It was a very chalky sequence of the way things shook out. For me, I was trying to catch prices throughout the course of today, and if you were following along with my key plays and the horses that we were trying to bring in at nice prices today, a Cloudy Holiday in the opener, Bermuda Blitz there in race 4, a Paseo, Auntie in the last race. All 4 of those price horses ran big races. A couple of them ran close seconds. Just a brutal beat if you had Bermuda Blitz earlier on the card. Auntie in the last race, I think much the best and just stymied in traffic. One of those days we could have hit something good, but it didn't work out that way. They all ran well. They just didn't have racing luck or enough finishing oomph to get over the top, or just found one better. But not a bad handicapping day. But again, didn't get anything at all to show for it. Hopefully that changes coming up on Friday. One bit of news and note, Breeders' Cup wise, and for Saturday at Keeneland, if you've looked ahead, outfielder is entered in the Bowman Mill Stakes on Saturday. One of two in there for Wesley Ward. Marcus Hirsch from Racing Form tonight has reported that Wesley Ward says he will scratch out of the Bowman Mill. No outfielder in the Bowman Mill Stakes on Saturday. They are headed to where they pre-entered for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. So look forward to seeing outfielder at Del Mar, but we unfortunately won't get to see him Saturday racing here at Keeneland. Let's get rocking and rolling on this 10-race card. We've got two pick fives for you that don't overlap in the 10-race format. Races 1 through 5 will get things started with the early pick 5. Late pick 5 will be races 6 through 10. Keeneland Turf Pick 3 back on races 5, 7, and 9 on this program. That 9th race, of course, the Valley View Stakes, part of the Turf Pick 3. The Myrtlewood Stakes, the co-feature, will go as race number 6 on the card. Pick 6 was hit today, as we mentioned, by a lot of folks. So we will start anew in the carryover there. There is no carryover in the pick 6. It begins in race 5. Also no carryover in the Toyota Super High 5, which will be race number 10. Now, reminder, tomorrow is mandatory payout day. So if nothing is hit today or Friday in terms of the pick 6 or the Toyota Super High 5, it'll go into Saturday's card with a mandatory payout provision, meaning that even if somebody doesn't hit all 6 in the pick 6, 5 of 6 would pay the whole pool and not a consolation. So we will have mandatory payouts coming up on Saturday at Keeland. And then, of course, the Kentucky Racing Circuit will shift gears to Churchill Downs on Sunday, where they host a Stars of Tomorrow card. But our Stars of Tomorrow are right here. Here are the winners that we hope are on the program for this Friday at Keeland. We're going to get things started. First name in the program is Shan. One horse, first race. That's where we're going here in the opener. We've got $50,000 claimers, an upper-level veteran claiming cast. A lot of times in these races, you're going to see some veterans who've been in the stakes ranks. That's the case with Shan, horse who stakes placed in the Leonatus at Turfway over the course of the winter. Class drop here. The 2 times this horse has run in for a 50 tag, ran 2 good seconds at Churchill Downs against similar kind of company, going 6. The 6.5 distance, I think, will suit Shan pretty well in here. 8-1 in the morning line under Frankie Dettori. I like that price. Shan's second choice for Scott. The other handicappers don't use that one, so we might be able to hold a fair price in this one. I thought this was a race where you could use several. I mean, really, in a field of 9, I've got 5 that are fair options if you're looking to play the early pick 5. 1, 3, 7, 4, 2. I've got all on the list here. The 7 picked on top on the level for Tom and Kim. The 3 picked on top here by Scott. So some decent options in here, but the one I thought that offered the best price with the best chance was number 1, Shannon, here on the class drop. Again, very competitive for that $50,000 level. I'm going to toss the last one out. How good was that race last time out? Guns loaded, won it by 4. Really stakes quality field in that one at Churchill. This horse was 36-1. Nobody of that kind of ilk in this particular spot. I think a big class drop. Give me the 1 Shan in race number 1. Let's move to the second race on the card as the pick 5 starts things in the first. The pick 4 will get going here in race number 2. This is a 7-furlong maiden claimer here on the main track, of course, at 7 furlongs. 3-year-olds and up, the elders, as they say in racing. You'll hear the juveniles called, the 2-year-olds called the juveniles. Horses 3 and up, usually the elders. When you talk about horses running against 4-year-olds, 3, 4, 5-year-olds, you get into that kind of elder division. That's what we're looking here. 3-year-olds and up in race number 2. Frosty Beer, the 2, going to be a 20-1 morning line tab. I'm going to take a little bit of a look at, but just for name only. The 4, the chalk, is going to be the pick. Not the chalk in terms of odds, but the chalk in terms of the name. The chalk here dropping in class for trainer Brett Calhoun, a horse who's run here at Keeneland one time for $150,000, now in for $20,000. So it's another big class dropper, a horse who's been fairly competitive in some spots, but inconsistent against the right field, should be able to match up. That's the thought process. Has never faced a field of this level. If not now, when you talk about a horse like the chalk, 7/8 of a mile might be okay distance-wise. Horse doesn't have a lot of get up and go out of the gate, but you don't want to get too far out of it here. Going 7/8 at this class level. Number 1, No More Stones. Another one in here to consider. Larry Ravelli claimed this one last time out. trainer who knows how to get a speed horse on the front end and see how far they can go. He gets Jareth Loveberry, a speed jock, aboard. This horse has shown speed in previous races for different trainers, for Doug O'Neill, and last time out for Michael McCarthy. So maybe some West Coast speed trained into this horse in the past from those particular barns. Now you've got Larry Ravelli at the helm, more speed expected. Expect the one, No More Stones, to take him as far as that one can. We'll see if it's enough to get to the wire on top. The 6, Tyler's Turn, top choice in here for a couple of the handicappers, an 8-1 in the morning line. Tyler's Turn for Kenny McPeak, top choice for Tom and Scott. This runner showed absolutely no pace in the 3 races. 3 races in the career so far, has beaten absolutely no one out of the starting gate the first quarter mile in any of the 3 starts. If you're going for Tyler's Turn at 7/8 of a mile on the cutback and distance, you expect this field maybe to fall apart at the end, and maybe it will. Like we said, No More Stones is going to be questionable at the distance, but certainly plenty fast. Others in here maybe who could show some speed. Number 3, Battle Warrior. I don't see a ton of speed in here. I mean, I don't look at this race as a total meltdown, but when you look at Tyler's Turn, it's McPeak. It's a maiden claimer here at Keeneland towards the end of the meet. 8-1. I guess you could do worse than that shopping around for a price, but not for me in here. 4-1, 12, and 7. The way I line this one up, I think those horses could get consideration. The 12, Harbe at 9-2 for Rohan Crichton coming out of Florida. And then the 7, Aura Magique, really a horse who could offer a decent price in here at 15-1 in the morning line. Second off the layoff, the comeback race was decent enough at 63-1. In a waiver claimer, and comes back in here. They were protected last time, and in for 20 this time. Maybe the 6 or the 7 could get in there at a little bit of a price, but I'll take the 4 in here. The chalk, again, a big class drop. Not a race that you have a lot of horses that you're very confident in. I mean, that's why they're running a maiden 20 at this point in their career, as 3-year-olds and older. They still haven't broken their maiden. They're at the basement now. Again, if you can't make friends here, you can't make friends anywhere. Give me the chalk. Everybody else has the chalk second, but I'll take that one on top. A tepid pick, but not certainly the kind of race that I want to lean heavily on one particular horse. To the 3rd we go, Allowance Company here. Second level Allowance, 1.125 on the dirt. Some horses in here that we've seen in some pretty big spots. How about Kentucky Derby and Belmont Stakes alumni in this allowance race here in race number 3? And we're not talking about old ones like from 5 years ago. We're talking about this year's Derby, Chunk of Gold, and this year's Belmont being uncaged. So you got a couple horses who have been on some bigger stages trying to find the right spot in here. These are all 3-year-olds, so they're not taking on elders in this particular spot. A 3-year-old allowance race. 1.125. The class should kind of shuffle itself out, you would think, in here. Number 4, Class Assist, is going to get my tab because I said the key about this race, they're all 3-year-olds. Well, Class Assist has been facing 3 and up in the last 2 starts at 1.125. So as a 3-year-old, taking on older horses in New York in the last 2 starts at 9 furlongs, and was able to win those. I know it was a maiden. I know it was the first level allowance race, but you're by Curlin. You got a classy pedigree. Todd Pletcher, best trainer here at Keeland, statistically 1.125 races. I know we took a shot at the Pletcher horse. Was it today? Was it yesterday? Sometimes they run together, but the 9 furlong horse for Pletcher just kind of fizzled out in the last, quarter mile. Was stalking. You thought, okay, kick in with the class here, and the horse didn't fire with anything. So, but Class Assist, I think, in this particular matchup could offer a fair value at 9-2, and that's going to be my top pick here in race number 3. Let's take a look at the other handicappers in here. Kim's also going with Class Assist on top. Scott's got that runner second. So Sandy the other. So we got a pair of 7s and a pair of 4s in here. You break the tie. Which one do you like? So Sandy 9-5 in the morning line. Sire Omaha Beach has had another good meet here at Keeland. A great meet at Keeland with horses on the main track. Don't be surprised at all if the 7 So Sandy takes to the track here at Keeland. First time over the strip. Cherie DeVoe's barn had been kind of cold here for most of the meet, all of the meet. And then today she uncorked one that ran by the horse we had and needed on the lead and went by like they were tied to a pole. So when Cherie DeVoe's horses get hot, they get hot fast and they run out a hellacious run sometimes. I wouldn't be surprised if she's about to go on a bender here in Kentucky. So Sandy might just be the horse in here with that pedigree. Coming out of classy races, obviously. Ran in the Curlin Stakes, almost won that against Chancer McPatrick. Got beat 6 lengths by Asa last time. Would be no surprise in here if the 7's not the one. I kind of was a little cold on the 7 because of Cherie's horse is not firing at the meet. And I thought, why take a short price on a cold barn? But again, the way that horse ran today, probably about the seventh race on the card, something like that. my goodness, I mean, just uncorked at the end of the race. And again, we've seen this at Keeland and at other tracks around the country. But when Shrevebo's horses start firing, man, they really start firing. So Sandy, I've got picked third in here. I probably have to elevate things a bit as we talk about this third race and probably move the 7 more up into the discussion. But certainly Class Assist I still like, but I don't like in any kind of gap. And when you look at Chunk of Gold, the horse who's second in here, classy runner's been in all the big races this year, but I was a little disappointed last time out in the Bourbon Flight. I didn't think that was a race where he ran as well as expected. I mean, the race scratched down to just 3 horses, couldn't get by the winner in that day, Brother K. I don't know. This might be a horse who kind of peaked over the summer with the Ohio Derby and West Virginia Derby. Chunk of Gold could certainly win here, but this is kind of a curious spot. I know it's a $130,000 race. Maybe this is to kind of get you to the Clark handicap and run against older horses in November at Churchill Downs. But he's had a fairly long campaign with 7 starts and, starting through December with no, major discernible break in the running lines. Might have been time to give Chunk of Gold a little break and then go up to the Clark handicap. So it's almost like a step back, like it's an admission that we're not going to races like that moving forward. I don't know why you're here other than the fact it's a $130,000 purse, and that's not a bad place to run. But with Chunk of Gold, stakes after stakes after stakes after stakes, the drop in class, I don't know. That's why I was trying to beat Chunk of Gold in this particular spot and why I was trying to beat Sandy. On paper, they look like the right 2 horses, no doubt. But again, Cherie's Barn was cold. The spot for Chunk of Gold didn't look right. So if we can get a little bit of a price on Class Assist, that's why I went that direction. 9-2, you get Todd, you get Leading Rider Irad. Again, but you have got to get 9-2, 5-1, something like that to beat Sandy and to beat Chunk of Gold. And then Brad Cox has Emergence in this race. I don't know what Emergence is going to do on the main track. Will Walden's got Solo Venturi down on the inside, coming off a really big effort last time. You got to beat another Pletcher in Uncaged. He's kind of off form, though. If you're going to win with Class Assist on the class rides in this particular spot, you better get at least $10 back. 4-1, 9-2 plus. If they're betting Class Assist, you're probably watching or taking a shot at somebody else in this particular race. Let's go to the 4th now. It's our first of 3 key plays on the program. As you can see in race number 1, I like Shan a little bit in there. Race number 2, the Chalk like a little bit. Race number 3, Class Assist like a little bit. We get to the 4th, we finally got one we want to kind of dig in on as one of our key plays on the day because I think we're going to get a good number on this one. Number 11, Mr. Hooligan is the pick in this particular spot. Mr. Hooligan, 20-1 in the morning line, or 15-1 in the morning line. Kevin Rice brings this one in from Presque Isle Downs. You say, why are you taking a Presque Isle Downs horse who got beat 13 lengths in the maiden race? The winner that day was a horse who won by 9.5. Miguel Clement was bringing in a New York quality runner. That's why the margin was so exaggerated. But again, the reason I like this horse, not for the debut so much as the pedigree here. The sire Tappert has unbelievable numbers here with the 2-year-olds here at Keeland. And overall, the horse is running at Keeland by Tappert. He's a sire who's had 5 winners from his first 20 starters here over this track, 9 for 20 in the money. So 45% in the money. He's had 25% winners and a positive ROI. The Tapperts aren't getting bet here at Keeland. There's not huge numbers of them, but again, enough of a 20-horse sample that you can feel like the Tapperts run well over this track and you could take a shot with one. Did you like the debut a little bit? Press the pace. And again, that Clement horse was pretty much all the way, just, straight up a winner all the way through it. A Godolphin horse ran second in that race. I'm not sure if it was Owen Hardy or Stidham. So Clement and Godolphin ran 1-2 in the race at Presque Isle. Probably a pretty good race is the way I'm looking at it. And again, you've got that Tappert in the pedigree, and we're going to get a price. Kevin Rice, Jaime Torres, a 35 buyer speed figure in the debut. They're not going to bet this horse. I can't imagine they're going to bet this horse. So I think we're going to get a fair price on the 11 in here, Mr. Hooligan. Let's see what the other handicappers do in this race, and maybe that'll give us a little bit of a tip-off. Don't see a lot of 11s across there other than my column, so that means we're on the island. That's a good sign if we're trying to get a price. Number 3, The Town, is top choice in here for Tom and for Kim. Scott is going with the 1 horse in here, Emancipation. Emancipation's my second choice, the one Brett Calhoun trains. This one by Independence Hall. Independence Hall's only had 4 starters here at Keeneland. First crop to run here. 4 starters, 1 win, 1 second already from those 4. And the 19-1 shot that ran second in there gives you kind of a sense that maybe these horses are liking the track a bit. So the 1 Emancipation, a little bit of a pedigree play there as well. Corey Lannery, you know how well he loves to hug the rail, and he gets the rail here, and a horse with a good local workout. So the 1 Emancipation, 6-1, my second choice. Number 3, the town, is Brad Cox by Win Win Win. Win Win Wins only had 4 at Keeneland, a win, a second, and a third. So they are running over the track here as well with limited starters to this point. Cox's barn with these maidens, closing week at Keeneland, as we told you earlier in the week. He piles up the victories closing week at Keeneland with a lot of maiden wins. So the town kind of fits the Brad Cox MO for this time of the meet. The workouts are nothing special, but that's why you're debuting for this high maiden tag. And instead of a maiden special early in the meet, it's a maiden tag late in the meet. So the horse is probably running where he belongs. Will that be good enough to win? We'll find out. The town, number 3, 4-1 with Irada Ortiz. I've got an 11-1-3. The other one to consider would be number 9, Magamac. Steve Asmussen's horses are all running through the bridle right now, especially his maidens. I would not be surprised if the 9 Magamac makes an impact in this race. So I'm all over the 11 in here, Mr. Hooligan. I'm going to try to get win money on the 11, obviously. The other contenders in here that I like, the 1, the 3, and the 9. So in terms of playing this race, we got a 12-horse field. We've got a big price that we like. We've got a couple other contenders that are more on the logical side, or at least for connections that feel a little more logical than Kevin Rice bringing a Presque Isle horse in. So 11 with the 139, 139 with the 11. That's kind of the way I'm going to be working this race, certainly in the exactas. Got to get win money on a horse who's going to be a fair price with Mr. Hooligan. And then if you're looking at trifectas, 11 all with 139, 11, 139 with all. Again, at the 50 cent to $1 trifecta denominations, you're not spending that much when you've got a single on top by 3 by all. I mean, in this kind of race, a 50 cent try with 11 with 1-3 all, or with 139 with all would be $10. 50 cent try, or no, it's $1 try would be that much. So it's not that expensive is what I'm telling you. So get in on it if you want to play that way, or even look at the superfectas, but you can get a pretty reasonable ticket as we go down the line. So yeah, there'll be $15, I believe, for 50 cents that you would get that 11 with 139 with all. Yeah, $15 for 50 cents. Math on the fly used to be easier when I was younger. Now, as you get older, you sometimes have to double and triple think things out. Let's go to the 5th race on the card here. Next up at Keeneland is race number 5. We're going to start the pick 6 in this race. This will also kick off the Keeneland Turf Pick 3. 1 1/8 maiden special weight for the 2-year-olds. We don't get many of these. We've only had 11 over the years. Favorites are 6 for 11 in these spots at 9 furlongs. 3 winners have been 12-1 or more, though, out of those 11 races. So you can certainly pop at a price. Now, none of the 11 winners went sprint the route, so demand a little bit of a route prep out of your horses that you're looking at in these particular spots. And certainly first-time starters would be a no-no statistically. Not much in terms of the first-time starters in this particular spot. So most of your runners you want coming out of turf races and coming out of route races. Certainly the best way to look at it in race number 5. I went with number 6, Phoenix, in this particular spot, coming out of a 1/16 race at Colonial Downs. Mike Campbell, the trainer, 6-1 in the morning line here. This horse ran against Come On Eileen, a horse who's really talented and fast. 2 starts back in the sprint ranks. Actually got in front of that one as even money favorite. Come On Eileen came back to win a sprint dash at Charlestown in Stakes Company, and really is a nice one for Brittany Russell in the Mid-Atlantic. So I thought that was a pretty good race to be able to get in front of that one, and understandable that the horse collapsed and ran, tired badly and retreated to run 5th beaten 15. Then when they went long on the turf the next time at a more manageable pace, Phoenix almost wired them, took them farther than a lot of people thought in there at 6-1. Now we come back and we go 1 1/8, and the pace might even get slower this time. That's kind of what we're hoping. The bullet workouts in the morning show that this horse is going to the front. I'm going to take a Phoenix as far as a Phoenix can run here. This 2-year-old filly, she's by good magic, stamina on the top, but the into mischief on the dam side certainly would be a little bit of a question at the 1 1/8. But I'm going to take my shot in here at what I think will be a fair number. I think other horses in the race are going to get bet. Give me number 6, a Phoenix in race number 5. Kim's also got a Phoenix on top, and Scott's got that runner second in here. Kentucky Belle gets a lot of love across the way. The 3 horse in this particular spot, I've got Kentucky Belle tabbed third in this race by Justify, another Brad Cox here. This horse got a monster 100 brisk late pace figure last time out. Part of it's because they went slow the first 6 and 112, but definitely was finishing strongly in that 1-turn mile at Churchill. Now, will Kentucky Belle be able to show that same kind of finishing kick going around 2 turns and going on turf? Those are 2 different things than the 1-turn dirt mile last time at Churchill Downs. I wouldn't want to take a short price on Kentucky Belle, but obviously this horse is a pretty major threat. As far as those brisk late pace figures, I like those in races like this where you're trying to project how far a horse can go. That 100 was a really nice brisk late pace figure for Kentucky Belle last time. Gives you the thought maybe this one could go a little longer. And one of the reasons I like the Phoenix was this horse got an 80 brisk late pace figure, which is better than a lot of the horses in this race. And that was last time despite going to the front. Usually a front runner is not going to run a bigger late pace figure than the others who are, kind of loping early and run a little bit more sustained. So that's one of the reasons I went with the Phoenix. But 6 and 3 to 3 is probably the most logical winner in here. The 11 Counterintuitive is coming off a 4th place finish as the favorite. Not this time. The sire has been unbelievable with 7 turf winners at the meet here at Keeneland. Chad Brown had been on the duck. He lost his first 15 or 16 at the meet. That ended today. He got his first win of the meet today. So maybe the Brown horses are going to start to turn their fortunes. He had 7 second-place finishes, so it's not like his barn was running terribly. The 11 Counterintuitive, you've got to respect in here. 6, 11, 3, 8. And again, I think we've got to get a price in here. Michael Campbell, the trainer of the 6, it just, he's had a win at the meet with 1 starter, but you're just not going to get bet in races where you've got Brad Cox, you've got Chad Brown. I mean, there are horses in here that are going to get bet for some bigger barns. You got McPeak in here. You've got some others that are going to take a little bit of cash. Jonathan Thomas with Improbable You, the 4 will probably get bet a little bit as well. Good betting race in race number 5. And I would be remiss if I didn't say if the 16 Empress Cece gets into the race, you better watch this one coming back on a couple weeks rest. The Tappet filly ran really well here opening day with no pace help. So coming back off of that race, Empress Cece, 20-1 in the morning line. If the 16 draws into this field, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on that one. So good gambling race. And just to remind you, when we talk about these also eligibles, whether they get into the race or not, be sure to check your scratches and changes in the morning. They usually come out between a 10, 11 o'clock hour. I give an update on Substack and a video update as well around the noon hour here on X, whether you're watching at Keeland Racing or at Horseplayer Now. So I'll update you on any changes. Like when these also eligibles draw in the field and I like them, I like to kind of bring them into the mix, let you know kind of what I'm thinking about them at that point in time. But certainly the 16 in this particular race, the 5th race, one to consider if they draw into the field. If you'd like to get updated information from me each racing morning at Keeland and leading up to the Breeders' Cup and around year-round, it's the free Substack service. Be sure to sign up for that, jeremyplonk.substack.com. Oodles of you throughout the course of this meet have been signing up for it, so appreciate that. Keep sending it in and sign up with the Substack, and I'll keep you up to date on racing throughout the course of the calendar year. Let's go now from race 5 to the 6th on the card. It's the co-featured Myrtlewood Stakes. We'll start the late pick 5 in this race, and we've got our second of 3 key plays. Field of 6 in the Myrtlewood Stakes, and there's some good-looking winners last time out. You got horses like King's Oliver, who won here over the track at the meet. On Time Girl won last time out. Storm Cloud Rising won last time out. That was back in the April meet here at Keeneland. Woodstock won by 10 last time out in the Eddie Gaylord Memorial at Remington Park. And a fine Chardonnay won last time out for Ian Wilkes in a career debut rally at Churchill coming up the fence. But the one I like is the one who I thought was the most impressive of those last out winners. That was Counting Stars. If you've seen the video, go back to this one at Churchill Downs in the career debut September 25th. This first-time starter for Mark Casse just looked outstanding visually, finishing up. One off by 4 lengths in that race. Beat a horse named Fashion Designer for Brad Cox, who was the runner-up. Was expected to be the stuff in there. Fashion Designer was a horse who's a full brother to Life is Good. The brilliant middle distance grade 1 winner. Counting Stars just blew his doors off. And I thought it was a really, really impressive race. I love Counting Stars in this spot. Jose Ortiz for Mark Cassie. The Beyer speed figure last out was 74. That's right up with the others in this race. Woodstock got a 76. A Fine Chardonnay got a 75. A 70 for On Time Girl, 71 for King Solver. So there's not a big gap in the speed figures in here. I don't know why Counting Stars would be 4-1 against this field. I don't see a scenario where the horse shouldn't be second pick. But if you look at the way the morning line lines up, there's 2-1, there's 3-1, there's 7-2, and then you're Counting Stars, fourth choice in the 6-horse field. If the horse is fourth choice in the 6-horse field, I'm going to be very, very, very happy to get involved. Counting Stars, to me, love the debut win. One of my key plays on the card for sure, and one of the better bets I've seen so far here on closing week as we hit day 3 of 4 on the closing weekend. We've only run this race 4 times, the Myrtlewood Stakes. It's a rather new one here at Keeneland. All 4 winners have been 7-2 or less. 3 of them have been favorites. We're not looking for anything wild and crazy here. 3 of the winners came off of races at Churchill. 1 was running back second time at the Keeneland meet. So King Solver coming back on 21 days. We've seen this happen before here at Keeland. I think Key is Life is the one who did it for Brad Cox a few years ago. Cox has obviously won this race. Similar pattern for On Time Girl as Echo Sound, who won this race last year, which was a Ellis debut, a Churchill allowance win, and then into this race. So there's, a little history going in a race that's only been run 4 times, but On Time Girls takes the same pattern as last year's winner. King Solver's doing something we've seen a winner of this race do. That's not to say that that's the right path, but if you're trying to say, well, is there any kind of disadvantage to the way that they're trying to come up to the race? It's already been successful. So that path has already been beaten down before by successful runners in this race. But, man, I'm just telling you visually, Counting Stars in the 6th, I'm all in. Push the chips to the middle of the table. Single in the late pick 5. If you're playing a pick 6, be a single for me as well in the Myrtlewood Stakes. That being race number 6. As for the other handicappers, I've flapped my jaws enough about Counting Stars. Nobody else taking Counting Stars. In fact, only 1 second choice in here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm off base, but I hope that the rest of the betting public thinks the same way that the morning line maker, Nick Tamarill, thinks, that the way that the other handicappers think, because then that means we're going to get a better price. I don't get cold feet when people don't like my horses. I get more excited about it. So you want to back them at better prices. That's what the game is all about. A Fine Chardonnay, my second choice, top pick in here for Tom and Scott. I thought a very nice visual winner last time. Ran faster than On Time Girl ran the same day. If you look at the maiden race and the allowance race, both run September 11th at Churchill. They were run 2 races apart. On Time Girl's allowance race went in 1:10-2. A Fine Chardonnay went at least 2 to 3 lengths faster in that race. So that's a good sign. Was let go at 45-1, but this horse blew him away late with a big rally up the inside. Third place finisher in there came back to win a maiden special weight here for Al Stall on October 18th by 2.5 lengths. So coming out of a good race, the 6, A Fine Chardonnay. 4-6 to me is the exact. I'll try to beat the Brad Cox horse. I went back and watched King Solver again. I didn't think that his win here opening day was all that impressive visually to wheel back and try to take this horse right back in the stakes ranks. But she's already won in stakes company in the Schuylerville Stakes earlier this year at Saratoga. So they're running her a lot. Rudy Brisset, I mean, when you talk about a horse who debuted June, July, August, now running twice in October, a pretty hefty campaign. We'll see if King Solver can keep it up. But to me, it's 4 and a 4-6 exact is the way I want to jump in on race number 6. Let's switch gears and go to the 7th race on the card here from the Myrtlewood Stakes to turf allowance runners. First level here at 1 mile and 1/16 on the grass. A lot of good options in this race. I got a lot of numbers drawn across the way in here, but I've got another key play on the card because I think we're going to get a price. And it's about these not this times, right? I mean, so many of them have run so well at the meet. 7 winners on the turf by sire, not this time. Number 1, Caitlin Time is going to get my call in here. The 7 Quietly is also by not this time in this particular race. And if you get a chance, look ahead to the Bryan Station Stakes on Saturday. 7 horses by not this time are in the 10-horse field for the Bryan Station, the 3-year-old stakes race on Saturday. But not this time. I think with Caitlin Time in here, the one to play in race number 7, coming off a good third-place finish last time out, going 7/8 of a mile. First time on the turf at Kentucky Downs. This is the horse that we saw back in the Fall Meet here last year. Did not run well over the main track. Didn't run well in the comeback race at Prairie Meadows. Then off the layoff, the barn switch to Mike Maker from Kelly Von Hemel. This horse got to the turf for the first time and made a vast, major improvement. First time on the turf, ran like a different horse. We've seen these not this times run so well on the turf this meet. Give me the one Keeland Time gets to save all the ground under Junior Alvarado in a race where I think there are a lot of good options. So if there are a lot of good options, don't take a short price. That's my moral of the story. Keeneland Time at 10-1 in the morning line certainly offers some value. Tricky Kitty the 2, Princess Attitude the 3. I'm going to take them 1, 2, 3 across the way. Brendan Walsh, Tyvek Affleone with the deuce. They got no pace help last time at Churchill. Slow fractions and still got up the win. And then Princess Attitude dropping in class. This is a filly, Frankel filly, well bred for Vicky Oliver and G. Watts Humphrey. The family connection there with Keeneland allowance or maiden allowance winner back in the spring meet. This horse has been running in big stakes races since. Third in the Hilltop on Preakness weekend. Ran in the Tepin, the Pucker Up, and the Dueling Grounds Oaks last time out against Fion and company. So big class drop for the 3, Princess Attitude. Johnny Velasquez riding great at the meet, ageless one. 1, 2, 3, the way I'm going to take them in this race. But there are other good options. 5, 10, and 7 are also horses that I put into the mix that you might consider in here if you're going deep on a ticket. But I like the one as the key play in here because I know we're going to get a price. I'm going to play some exacta boxes, a key box with the one with a lot of different type runners in here. But the exotics might get away from us here in terms of value, and you end up spreading so much that you don't make any money out of it. So this might just be a time to just take a good, solid, straight win bet somewhere in that 8 to 12-1 range and hope you get that number on Keeneland Time. That's the way I'm going to go in here. Princess Attitude, top pick for Kim. The 5, Coretto, top choice for Tom. And the 10, Love You Anyway, top choice in here for Scott. 4 handicappers going 4 different directions. That's what makes for a great betting race. Let's see if we can get our price on another, not this time, Keeneland Time in race number 7, my third key play on the card. Let's move next to the 8th race, mile and the 16th, Allowance Company in this one. This is a race where I kind of relied a little bit on the brisk late pace figures. The way I looked and handicapped this race, I thought there was a lot of speed in here. Short runners, short distance runners trying to stretch out in here. I thought the one Catalytic had some really interesting brisk late pace figures in this race, especially for the kind of running style, because Catalytic doesn't drop far off the pace, but yet finishes strong, stronger than most. Didn't run well at Parks last time. A lot of horses flop over that track. I tinkered with the idea of making Catalytic one of my 3 key plays on the card. Let's call this one 3.5. Very close to putting this horse into the mix as one of the key plays on the card. Second in the Florida Derby last year, now at age 4. First or second, I mean, you can almost chalk it up to this horse every time. Parks is a weird racing surface. Some horses like it, some don't. This horse didn't run a jump in the Parks Dirt Mile last out. They come back here before they head south on the way home, perhaps. $140,000 purse for Antonio Sano. Luis Saez riding an aggressive rider, should be up near the pace, if not right, a step or 2 off of some of these sprinters who are stretching out. But this horse has a lot of class for the mile and the 16th distance. And so I think Catalytic stays close in touch, but has the best late pace figures in here amongst the horses who are going to be up near the front. And I think that will be enough that when the speed starts to back up, Catalytic will kind of hold that intensity and be able to push by and then get there and get the first jump over the late runners in the field. The 8 Capital Idea is second choice in this race. Question here is the true 2-turn form of this horse, because here's another one who ran once around 2 turns at Parks, got beat badly in that spot back when with the Clement barn. The 2-turn races at Monmouth and Aqueduct were losses. But the 1-turn mile at Aqueduct back in January 2024 was the maiden breaker. The Saratoga Wilson Shoot races, which are kind of somewhere in between 1 turn and 1.5 turns, starting on that elbow start, were the 2 back-to-back wins. So is Capital ID really good now or really good around 2 turns? That's the question. The 1-turn brisk late pace figures are very strong, but will that translate over 2 turns? That's the question. I think we're going to get a much shorter price on Capital Idea than we will on Catalytic. So I'm on Catalytic in this particular spot. Generous Tipper is a horse who's had good form in the past, 3rd here in the Breeders' Futurity in 2023, but we haven't seen this horse since going to Maidan over the winter in Dubai. A long time since, sips of water here domestically. So I don't know what we're going to get out of Generous Tipper here. Kenny McPeak brings this one back late in the meet. It's a consistent workout tab every week on cue, like you like to see. Horses coming off long layoffs. Usually 6 is the magic number. The trainers want 6 well-spaced workouts before coming back off a layoff. It's exactly what you get with Generous Tipper. So this horse is right where he should be for the comeback. Will he be good enough off the comeback to get the win? I think the horse is a factor in here, but I like the one Catalytic. I'd use the 1, 8, and 6. I think all 3 are players in this particular spot, but I really like Catalytic as the one. So give me a 1, 8 box and a 1, 6 box, and we'll try to get the one Catalytic in there. And really, maybe you're looking at some potential daily doubles. Catalytic should be a fair 6, 8, 10 to 1 in here. And if we can get win money, a little exacta, a little daily double, might be the way to make some cash off of this particular horse in what is a pretty good allowance field there in race number 8. To the 9th we go, the featured Valley View Stakes, grade 2 company here, $400,000 purse. These are 3-year-old fillies going a mile on the turf. Now, the Valley View Stakes is one of those interesting conundrums if you get into handicapping over the years. It's a race where people haven't quite figured it out. I hope we're right with Mayday ready, but to be honest, this race has been tough for the public to figure out. One of the reasons I always look at a stat and try to figure out, is there a reason for the stat? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Does this stat make sense? We've got 19 years in the database here at Keeneland.com for this race, the Valley View Stakes. Favorites are 1 for 19 in this race and have lost 17 in a row. The public hasn't figured this race out in 17 consecutive years. This race averages a winner at 10 to 1 odds over that time, over that 19 years. So it's not like they're just missing it. It's the second choice or the third choice. And you start to say, well, maybe there's good handicapping, but the favorites just didn't fire 17 times in a row. And the average winner at 10 to 1. This race to me is the consolation prize at Keeneland. The Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup is the main event for 3-year-old fillies this time of year, right? That's the grade 1. That's the big purse. The Valley View is tempting. It's a grade 2 now because we've had some decent horses go on and do other things out of it over the years. And it's a good purse nowadays with $400,000 as they keep increasing the stakes purses here at Keeland. So it's an attractive race now, but it's not the grade 1 Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup that gets the best of the best. So this is like the consolation. So you're either in this race because you're not good enough to be in the Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup, or you're a late bloomer who didn't develop enough to get to that grade 1. So I think the people who are handicapping this race, like you and I, have a tough evaluation in this race historically. Are they horses that are kind of here and this was never the goal, but they end up here because they didn't achieve the grade 1 race that they wanted to get to? Are they horses who are late in the form cycle? They missed some time during the year and didn't get ratcheted up to be a grade 1 horse this time of year. If you've got a 3-year-old filly and you want to make a broodmare prospect out of them, running second or third in the grade 1 Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup can be more lucrative than winning a grade 3 sometimes. So that is the goal race. This is not the goal race. And I think because of that, it makes the horses in this race difficult to evaluate. I think that might be the reason why we're looking at a situation that's as odd as any graded stakes in the country, probably, when you look at 17 straight favorites going down. Average winner of the Valley View at a mile, 4.5 lengths off the lead after the first half mile. That's a deep closer profile. Horses from New York have won 7 of the 19, prepped in New York. Only 3 have come from Kentucky Downs. And that can be a factor, too, in the last, say, decade, because the Kentucky Downs horses over the last decade get bet harder and harder here at Keeland, where they used to be kind of value plays. They're not anymore. And so if the Kentucky Downs horses have only produced 3 of the victories in this race, then a lot of the public money might be headed towards those Kentucky Downs runners. And that could be a reason that we get the prices that we do. So let's go to the selections here and see what we can come up with. I'm going with Mayday Ready in this particular spot because I know she's already won over this track. She's a versatile running style filly. She can be up near the pace where she won at the Belmont or the Lake Placid at Saratoga earlier this meet. When she won here in the fall last year, she came from 8th and won by a nose. She was 2nd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. She was beaten last time out at Aqueduct, 10 to 1 in the morning line. Ben Curtis has already had a couple stakes winners at the meet. I like Mayday Ready in here. I think she can come right back. She had a wide trip in the Breeders' Cup from 12 of 14, and she's in the 12 again. She's been able to handle it and run well. So Mayday Ready for me is going to be the one in here. And look, she wasn't up to running in the Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup. That's just the bottom line off of her inconsistent form this year. But her best is good enough, and she's versatile in running style. I'm going to take her in here at what could be a fair price, 10-1 in the morning line. Again, average winner of this race has been 10-1. Kim's also taking the 10 Mayday Ready on top. The 2 Play with Fire for Chad Brown is the favorite in here. This horse really has the best late brisk pace figures in a field that's rather weak late. So when you look at who's going to close and finish in this race, right, the average winning profile in this race is 4.5 lengths off the lead. So a lot of times these races have a little bit hotter pace. You get some of these horses coming out of like Classic Q, coming out of the Music City Stakes, which was a 6.5 furlong race. You got Sturgeon Moon coming out of a 7 furlong sprint. You got a 5.5 furlong turf sprinter stretching out here in Stormy Paradise. You can see why the profile of this race could be for a closer once again. So again, I get into those brisk late pace figures for some handicapping like this. And Play with Fire's got the best numbers late, and it's not a field that has great late pace figures. So Play with Fire is probably the most likely winner in this race, but at 2-1 in the morning line for Chad Brown Barn, that yes, they won a race today, but for the meet, they've had a lot of bad luck in running a lot of seconds. Maybe this horse runs second again, coming out of the Lake Placid, where Mayday Ready beat this horse last time, when this horse was the 3-2 favorite. So Play with Fire was the 3-2 favorite in the Lake Placid. Mayday Ready beat her that day. We know Mayday Ready can run here at Keeland, has a win over the track. Last year when this horse ran an allowance company, 4th place finish for Play with Fire over the track. So why would I take 2-1 on Play with Fire and Chad Brown when Mayday Ready beat this horse in New York? It was a road game for Mayday Ready, right? Joe Lee is not a NYRA trainer. He's on the road, and they beat Chad up there at Saratoga, running out of their home stall. Now they come back to Kentucky. This is more of a home game for Joe Lee, road game for Play with Fire, and then look at the record over the track. Mayday Ready has won a stakes here. Play with Fire ran 4th in allowance company here. So that's the reason I'm switching things up here between those two, and the fact that why take a short price in a race where 17 straight favorites have lost. So that's the way I'm going to line it up here. I do think the 2 will run a good race, but we hope the horse ends up somewhere on the bottom of the ticket, 2nd or 3rd in there. Certainly would absolutely want to use that runner in the exotics. Number 9, Tabiti's the other one for the underneath part of the ticket for me, perhaps coming off a 3rd place finish in that aforementioned Music City Stakes, a grade 2 at Kentucky Downs for trainer Brad Cox. Beaten by She's So Spicy in that one, who will be in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. That 3-year-old filly is a good one. So Tabiti comes out of some good races. Won a Group 3 in Europe at 7/8 of a mile. We've never run around 2 turns. The races that were on the straight overseas, the 1-turn race at Goodwood in the Oak Tree was a win. And then, of course, the 1-turn race in the Music City last time. So we haven't seen Tabiti around 2 turns. Probably is okay with that, but the Dam Sire first defense, usually closing sprinter best for the first defenses. So I'm going to give Tabiti a shot to hit the board underneath, but maybe be a little bit flat late and not close with the same kick around 2 turns that we saw with 1. 11, 2, and 9, or 12, 2, and 9, the way I'm going to line it up. Give me Mayday Ready over the Chad Brown and Brad Cox charges here. Joe Lee slaying the big giants here again with Mayday Ready, hopefully, in race number 9. To the 10th and final we go as we wrap up the podcast for this Friday night. Toyota Super High 5 in the finale. Starter allowance company in here, and I'm going with number 3, Capanaparo, the top choice in here, the 3 horse. No one else taking the 3 on top in their spots. In fact, nobody's using this runner underneath as well. Rick Dutrow trains Aqueduct Shipper, coming off a big win last time out. 2 starts back, ran second in the debut, beaten 4 lengths by Johnny's Red Storm, who came back and won a stakes race at Saratoga. So this horse is good form on the turf and on the dirt. Rick Dutrow sends this one out. He's got 1 win and a 3rd from his first 3 starters at the meet. Irad Ortiz aboard. Number 3, Capanaparo, going to be my top choice in here. Number 1, Misinformation, second choice, Mark Cassidy. This one comes off a $50,000 class drop and an easy win. Fits the conditions perfectly for this race. In that race, beat the 5 in here, Perfect Audible, pretty handily. And Perfect Audible since has come back. The 9, Perfect Audible, has since come back to win for Steve Asmussen. Asmussen's barn's going really well. So 3 with the 1-9, the way I'm going to try to finish things up. The 6, After Party, top choice in here for both Tom and Scott. 6-1 in the morning line there. David Jacobson takes over the training off a maiden claiming win last time out at Gulfstream Park. Be curious to see the thought process behind After Party is the top choice by both those guys. Perhaps we'll find out tomorrow on the Today at Keeland program, which gets underway at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. You can tune into that on the Keeneland simulcast feed each and every day. Tom gives his long shot play of the day. They have a clockers report. Scott and Gabby give you all the latest information and conditions at the track there on site at Keeland. Check that out beginning at 11:30 tomorrow. First post will be 1 o'clock. I'll be back tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern, to preview the Saturday closing day card. Closing day includes the Bowman Mills Stakes on Saturday, as well as Stakes Company in the Fayette. 3 stakes overall on that Saturday card. Again, a bit of news from Marcus Hirsch at Daily Racing Forum breaking tonight that in the Bowman Mill on Saturday, Bowman Mill Stakes on Saturday, we're going to have a scratch of outfielder, the Wesley Ward charge in there, because outfielder is headed to Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. That's the latest. Good luck to you on the card tomorrow at Keeland. I'll be back in the morning for a social media update around noon Eastern. Any scratches, changes, we'll update those through the Substack as well. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow, day 16 of 17. We've got 2 more to go. Bring home some winners.